It's 6 a.m. GMT, and just a day after the historic inauguration of President John Dramani Mahama and Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. You're listening to the Star Breakfast News with me, Nanama Akwa. Coming up, Ghana shines as beacon of democracy with historic peaceful transfer of political power. We'll bring you all the key highlights from yesterday's historic swearing-in ceremony. Also coming up, President John Mahama assures the youth of his commitment to improve standard of living by creating decent and well-paying jobs through implementation of 24-hour economic policy.
Together with the private sector and captains of business, we will create decent and well-paying jobs. Our vision hinges on the introduction and implementation of a 24-hour economy.
And later, security analyst condemns action of irate youth who set fire to lorry tires and blocked portions of Abekanla Pass Market. We've got these details and more coming up. Do stay.
Star News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissin 100.1 FM in Lamshao, MyStar Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Star 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Star 103.5 FM. Star News. Informed, in depth, in touch.
You're welcome to the Star Breakfast News on Star 103.5 FM with me, Nanama Akwa. Now, call it a mix of history or the cementing of Ghana's place in upholding democratic credentials, and you will not be far from being right. The world stood still and watched as the man who handed over power to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo 8 years ago returned to take it back to complete his second term. Our team was there to capture every moment of the swearing-in of John Dramani Mahama as the 6th President of the 4th Republic of Ghana.
Your Excellency, you may now proceed to do so.
I, John Dramani Mahama,
thrice lucky. That's the charm President John Dramani Mahama carries in 2025. After 8 years of trying, he wields the state sword, swearing to uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Clad in a white kaftan, embroidered with traditional symbols of Nyamijia, literally God's tree, indicating supremacy of God. Sankofa, which really describes his historic comeback. Most common of them is the Jinyame, except the Lord, signifying Muhammad's appreciation for God's role in his story, and finally, Jainimeng, the ram's horn, a symbol of both strength and humility. This historic day does not end with President Mahama. His Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, shares the stage with him in her own capacity. Alas, the party that gave Ghana the first Professor President returns with a first Professor Vice President. The cherry on the top, a woman. These professors coincidentally are from the central region known as the educational hub of Ghana. But that's not the focus of today. Not even the beautiful moment when one Gehe alumna swore in her fellow alumna.
So help me God. Congratulations, Madam Vice President.
Thank you.
Lift your
The venue for the inauguration was the Black Star Square. Wait a minute. This is Parliament, and this is the Black Star Square. Future generations won't be blamed should they mistaken the venue of the inauguration. The ground had 3 days, one for the members of parliament, another for the invited dignitaries, and the central one which housed the leadership of parliament, Chief Justice, and their excellencies, the president and vice presidents. The flanks of the square were filled with scores of Ghanaians providing the ambience for the electrifying day, barely able to contain their excitement. As dignitaries began to show up, the anticipation and excitement ramped up.
We'll bring you the rest of this report later. Now, some attendees at the swearing in of John Dramani Mahama as Ghana's 6th president under the Fourth Republic expressed confidence in his leadership. Also spoke to Starr News. Let's have a listen.
Your Excellency, you may now proceed to do so.
There's a lot for us to do as Ghanaians in order to reset this country and bring it back on the track of progress and prosperity. Let us all resolve to see what we can do to make Ghana a better place. And in whichever capacity that we find ourselves. The task is very daunting. The economic condition is in dire straits. Unemployment is on the ascendancy. Even food, common food for people has become a challenge. Water supply is an issue. But I believe that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, having been President of the Republic of Ghana before, knows exactly what he's about. He knows the direction he's sending this country, and I believe that he will assemble the best team to help him to prosecute this agenda of resetting Ghana.
Meanwhile, former Attorney General and Minister for Justice Marietta Brew Appiah-Pong affirms the new government's commitment to pursuing justice and recovering state properties, dismissing accusation of witch hunting. Speaking during the inauguration at the Black Star Square, the legal counsel to President John Dramani Mahama maintained that the fight against corruption should not be misconstrued as witch hunting. She calls on Ghanaians to support efforts to reset the country amid resistance from the minority.
The incoming Mahama administration, ahead of assuming office, has established a 5-member committee under the chairmanship of the Member of Parliament for North Tongu, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablak. The incoming Mahama administration, ahead of assuming office, has established a 5-member committee under the chairmanship of the Member of Parliament for North Tongu, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablak. The committee's mandate is to gather evidence to aid in the recovery of funds and properties lost to the state. However, the minority leader, Afenyo Makin, recently vowed in Parliament to fiercely resist any attempts by the incoming government to target members of the outgoing administration.
I condemn in no uncertain terms the establishment of a so-called committee called ORA. It is a needless committee, is only in for personal vendetta. If we allow this committee to continue with its so-called wild goose chase, it will disturb the governance of this country. We have institutions of state. We must support them to do their work. We don't want people to be chasing people into people's houses, going into people's bedrooms, and I expect my friends in the NDC to know that it is not a populist agenda that makes a nation strong. We are not going to allow you to use unconstitutional means to shut us up. We will stand firm that we stop any injustice.
Right, the inauguration of John Dramani Mahama as the 6th president of the Fourth Republic was not just a political event, but an occasion to showcase the fashion sense of Ghanaians. While there's several beautifully sewn clothes, one costume stood out, and that is the one worn by the newly sworn-in president. My colleague Hassan Awudu gives us a close look at what the president wore.
The city of Accra came to a standstill as scores of local and international dignitaries, as well as supporters of the National Democratic Congress, stormed the area for the historic inauguration of John Dramani Mahama as President of Ghana. The inauguration was not just a political occasion, but to showcase the rich culture of the country. Attendees used the occasion to display Ghanaian culture through their dress codes. While some attendees wore suits and other foreign attires, many were seen in beautiful Ghanaian clothes such as kente and fugu, depending on where they came from. But in the sea of colorful fashion, one stood out, and that was what the new president wore for the occasion. John Dramani Mahama wore a customized white agbada, beautifully adorned with intricate kente designs with beautifully woven Edinkra symbols. Some of the symbols included Nyamidria, symbolizing the tree of life, representing purification and blessings. The Sankofa symbol, to wit, return and fetch it, representing the idea of learning from past to improve the future, and the Chinyami symbol that signifies the supremacy of God, guiding his leadership decisions. Indeed, fashion is an important part of our culture, and today was a perfect representation of that. The vibrant style showcased at the inauguration not only highlighted our rich heritage, but also set a stylish tone as we move forward together as a nation.
Now, the dreams and aspirations of many young people seeking decent, well-paying jobs will soon materialize, following the commitment of President John Dramani Mahama to addressing youth unemployment by forging strong partnerships with the private sector. The country's staggering 14% unemployment rate, with nearly 1.8 million jobless people, has had a toll on socio-economic development of the country. But according to President John Mahama, this will be a thing of the past, because the youth will get decent and well-paying jobs through the implementation of the much-touted 24-hour economic policy. He spoke at his inauguration ceremony here in Accra.
In this resounding victory, I see a clarion call, particularly from the youth of Ghana, a generation that is brimming with potential and dreams that are waiting to be realized. This moment, the powerful affirmation that your voices matter, that your aspirations are valid, and that your future must be our priority. Committed to translating your hopes into action and creating opportunities for education, entrepreneurship, employment, and empowerment. Our policies will be tailored to sustain innovation and foster industry that engages today's young minds and equip them with the skills needed for tomorrow's challenges. Together with the private sector and captains of business, we will create decent and well-paying jobs. Our vision hinges on the introduction and implementation of a 24-hour economy. We envisage an innovative and vibrant 24-hour Ghanaian economy, which will also be anchored in agriculture and agribusiness. This innovative approach would unlock potentials that have long remained dormant, enabling us to harness the energy and creativity of all our people.
Now, security analyst Adib Sani has strongly condemned the actions of irate youth who set fire to lorry tires and blocked key areas around the Abekanla Pass market. The youth, who are supporters of the National Democratic Congress in the Okaikwe Central constituency, have expressed dissatisfaction over the party's leadership silence on the ongoing issue concerning their parliamentary candidate, Baba Sadiq. In protest, they resorted to burning tires and obstructing roads to demand that Baba Sadiq be sworn in as a member of parliament for the constituency. Let's have a listen.
Has been on our neck, pressing it hard, making sure that everybody in Okaikwe Central do not have a job. He made it clear in an interview that the youth in Okaikwe Central are lazy. Just imagine this. A member of parliament for 12 solid years uttering such a word to his constituents, which means this man is not ready to help the constituents. That is the main reason why we decided to make change. And we made change on the 7th December. That change reflected in the declaration. Today, as we speak, we want to send a strong signal to our party hierarchy, especially Johnson Esiedun Ketia, we want to tell him. The conversation he had with Kufuor, we've heard it. We had all the information. If he thinks he has any presidential ambition, he should take it from Okankwe Central. NDC in Okankwe Central have come to an end. Nobody. If they don't re-declare Baba Sadiq, they should cancel it out. Nobody in Okankwe Central will do anything. Nobody. Even the party officers will speak. We are going there to knock it out. We don't have MP without Baba Sadiq. If not Baba Sadiq, we don't have any MP. We are telling you.
But speaking to Star News, Adib Sani urged the party's elders to step in.
There is no justification for anyone to take matters into his or her own hands in a quest to seek justice. Because my father used to tell him, may God be pleased with him, that you see, if you are right in any situation, the way you handle it will determine whether you hold on to being right or you lose it and become wrong, even though from the beginning you were right. And so, in a manner that they did today, might make them lose that right they have.
And that's what we have for the Star Breakfast News. My name is Nanama Aqua. For more news updates, click on starfm.com.gh. Enjoy the rest of the day.